Everybody's talking at me, I can't hear a word they're saying, only the echoes of my mind. People stop and staring, I can't see their faces, just the shadows of their eyes. I'm going where the sun keeps shining through the pouring rain, going where the weather suits my clothes, banking over the northeast wind, sailing on summer breeze, skipping over the ocean like a stone. Everybody's talking at me, I can't hear a word they're saying, just the shadows of their eyes. Oh, I won't let you leave my love behind. Oh, I won't let you leave. Oh, oh, I won't let you leave my love behind. Hi there, Martin here from Jar's Beginner Guitar Lessons. Hope you're well. Today I'm looking at Everybody's Talking by Fred Neil. He actually wrote it, but I'm also mixing that in with the Harry Nilsson version of it. I was quite interested in the fingerstyle that's going on in the back of the Harry Nilsson cover, so I thought I'd get, it was a challenge to try and learn that. It's quite tricky. And also I thought I'd drift into the Fred Neil version, kind of a strummy version, if not a bit more a bit faster. I couldn't suddenly slow the song down. So I thought, well, I'll look at both in a way, whilst I kind of look at the songs. So anyway, I thought I would, I thought I would kind of look at both songs as a kind of, as a study piece as such. The finger picking is quite tricky. It took me a while to kind of get my head around that. The strumming, the Fred Neil version, is much more, shall we say, it's easier to do, so you might want to kind of take on that version before you take on the fingerstyle of the guitarist who's playing in Harry Nilsson. I haven't yet found out who's doing it. I'm still digging around, so if you do find out, please let me know. It'd be great to see them doing that live, but as yet I couldn't find any information on that. So I've just written down a few things about the song, the Fred Neil song in particular. You must check it out. It's kind of got a Dawesy feel. It's a bit, even, should we say, Nick Drake going on there, Walker Brothers. It's slow and bluesy and folky. Really, really good song. This is an introduction to me, really. I was looking up about Nilsson, finding out some more information about him for this song, and it led me down the path of Fred Neil. Both equally amazing characters with a fantastic catalogue of songs. If you go online and have a look, you'll see this iconic picture of Fred Neil standing in the street, which I presume is Greenwich Village, and the album's called Bleecker and McDougal, and on that album in particular is Candyman and the Dolphins. He wrote Candyman, which was covered by Roy Orbison. The Dolphins is a song that's pretty well known, quite well known as also, and that's where he ended up. He ended up helping out dolphins in a sanctuary in the 70s, and for the rest of his life. The second album, which is just called Fred Neil, is the one with Everybody's Talking on, which is worth a listen to as well. It's really, really good stuff. Do check it out. And as for Nilsson, his version of the song is fantastic, with the fingerstyle going on there. So I thought, what I did a version at the start, which kind of sucks in both in a way, or draws on both versions. do my own version really, just just so I can kind of demonstrate what's going on. So the fingerstyle I'm looking at, and also the strum, and a kind of strum pattern I've brought in myself, but I'll show you how I think Fred Neil's doing that also. Okay, so I'm just looking here. There's a few differences. The Fred Neil version is it's without capo, so you don't play with a capo. The Harry Nilsson one's on capo too. You just look at the hits on YouTube. Harry Nilsson's one is up around 10 million mark, and the Fred Neil one is a couple of 100,000, which is still a lot. But there you go. It shows you. Now the Harry Nilsson version was released. It wasn't a hit initially, and then it was used for this. I think he was asked to write a song for this film, and he wrote the song. They rejected that song, and they used his single, which he'd released, which is the Fred Neil song. That was good news for Fred Neil, probably. Made him an awful lot of money. In fact, so much money, I think that's why he probably retired and went and helped with dolphins. Nice song, though, to have written. Hey, there you go. One song, and that's all it takes. Still searching for that song. So there you go. So, and of course, the film itself has got a fantastic, soundtrack. You must go back and listen to that. If you haven't listened to it, the soundtrack's available on YouTube as well. There's John Barry doing a harmonica solo, which is superb. You can play harmonica, take that one on. There's tricky notes going on there. Okay, right, that's enough gabble, enough going on about the song. You can hear my enthusiasm for the song. I do love it. I'm now going to show you kind of what's going on in the song. Okay, so let's go and have a look at the song. So the Harry Nilsson version kind of ploughs straight in with the fingerstyle. So I'm just going to talk you through it, working through the song. Okay, the intro section. So don't forget capo 2. Other people have done it online in different ways. It's fine. You can move the capo around. If you know the caged chord system, of course you can pick it in various places on the guitar. It gives you different voice, of course. I played along with it. I'm pretty much there. So this is a guide. You can probably polish this up a bit more yourself. So we're going to start by making a D shape, but I'm going to well, you know your D shape, I hope. Anyway, I'm going to show you anyway. So the chords with a D, you put your first finger on G2, your second finger down on E2. Remember, this is all relative to the capo. So when I talk about E2, I'm counting from the capo. That's kind of the end of the guitar now, yeah? So it's, as I said, second finger on E2, first finger G2, third finger on B3. It's kicking off in a D. But I'm not going to use that. I'm actually going to bar across 3 now. It gets a bit tricky. Barring across 3, and my second finger is going to go in between. The reason for that is while I'm picking, I need to take off my finger. Okay, so it goes like this. I'm going to do a slow version and then slowly speed it up. It's not the easiest picking style, but I'll show you what's going on. Okay, we'll start with the first thing is it thumb and picks the D, which is string 4, with the index finger. And I'm sure you don't have to use that finger, it can be another finger, but I'm using that, I'm pretty sure. No, I'm not. Okay, let me start again. I'm actually using my second finger. So I'm doing that. I'm picking those two together. Okay, pinch, pick, whatever. Thumb, second finger. There's your first 2 notes. Look at my D shape over there. I'm using the bar. This is going to take you a while. If you haven't done this before, this is going to be tricky. You can do that version, but you're going to have to change to this version, or you can do 3, which I'll come to in a minute. So you can do that D, but if you want to improve a bit, use the bar with the second finger. You can take it up and down like this. So as I said, let's get back to that pick. Thumb, second finger together. Now this is followed by picking 1, 2, 3 strings like this. So watch this. And then I go back to string number 2. So it's third finger, second finger, first finger, back to second finger. Let's just try that. This is how I understand that what's happening on there. It could be slightly different, but most of the notes kind of play along with the song. You'll hear it. The tricky thing is actually the speed of the little up run. Should we say an up run, because it's kind of it's almost like a reverse arpeggio. Okay, so that's D. Does the same thing now. Take off your second finger, and I'm going to use the bar for now. I'm going to make it a little bit harder. I will address the easier chords that you can do as I go through. So now, cross 3 does exactly the same. No, it doesn't. It picks the A string. I'm pretty sure it does. You've got an alternating bass line going on here. So we've got D, and then an A, like this. Okay, play along with it. You'll hear it. Second finger off, your thumb goes to the A string, you pick the same B string with your second finger. Hope that makes sense so far. And then you do the little reverse arpeggio. Let's call it a reverse arpeggio for now, for want of a better phrase. Third finger, second finger, first finger. That's string 1, 2, 3. Oh, I didn't do that. I picked the wrong string, sorry. 1, 2, 3, back to 2. Your second finger. Okay, I'll run through that now slowly, right from start. Idea. It's quite tricky. Now we change down to a D. I hope I did say that was a D major 7, which is barring 1, 2, 3 strings on the second fret. It's a D major 7, so it goes from a D to a D major 7. Now we drop down to a D7. We pick the same as we did with the D. Same strings there with the D. So we're picking the D and the B string. And I hope you know your D7 shape here. It is a reverse of the D. There's the D, there's a D7. So it's your second finger this time is on G2. Your third finger down on E2. Your first finger on B1. There's D7. So you pick thumb again on the D string, second finger, I'm using anyway, second finger on the B string, and then there's that reverse arpeggio again. Take off your first finger off the B string, and you've got a D6. I'm pretty sure it's a D6. I'm not going to go and check again, but I'm pretty sure that's a D6. This time you're going to alternate that bass line again up to A with your thumb. Second finger picks the B, this time it's an open B, and that reverse arpeggio. Let me just run through that to make sense slowly. That little run there. Now, I didn't mention each chord repeats itself twice. So I'll just walk through the words so you get an idea. So we get this. Everybody's talking at me. I can hear a word they're saying. Okay, right. It's quite difficult to slow it down and do it. So it's 2 of each when the vocal comes in. Everybody's talking at me. I can't hear a word they're saying. Okay, Okay, hope you got that. Now we jump up to an E minor 7. Now with the Fred Neil version, it doesn't do the E, it holds the A. The bass line alternates. But in the Nilsson version, I'm pretty sure we have an E minor 7, which I'll show you now, going to an A. An A. I can't speak. An A. Right, E minor 7. So we pick, this time we've got the bass E, second finger on B. Yep, same 3 strings I'm picking. Don't really have to make the shape of the E minor, but it helps to know where you are by doing it. Drop to an A, pick the A, thumb, second finger on the B, and then that reverse arpeggio. Again, twice you're doing it. Same as you're doing with the Ds. There's a little pattern there, little groups of repeating it 2 times. Okay, so far. Okay, a tricky piece to play. Will take a lot of practice. It's not something I do regularly, so it was new to me to do that type of pick style. Most of the pick styles I do tend to go down and make sense. This one doesn't. It's flying in a reverse way. So you're gonna have to bear this one out if you want to play it like he does. To be honest, half of me said, "What's the point?" You know, I don't know where this is coming from. So there you go. I never saw this played live, so half of me doesn't believe that actually there's a real person playing on it. It's a robot doing finger picking at 100 miles an hour. I just can't do it very well. That's what it is. I can do most of them. You know, they make sense. Most of these, you know, you come across Paul Simon, Travis Picking style. You can get there. It makes sense, and you get the idea. Even something like Blackbird by Paul McCartney, which is quite tricky. You get there with a bit of help from my friends. I shouldn't say that. Yeah, with a bit of help, you do get there, and you can master it pretty quick within a week. This is a hard one. This is maybe just do a slow version. Use it as an exercise. Okay, there we go. So let's call it pattern 1. That's the verse. Now there is another bridge section, or the break, that he does something slightly different. I believe he is, and it is a quite tricky piece to play. So what I've done, I've interpreted this and made it slightly a bit easier. Now it's the part where, after the verse, where he sings, everybody's talking to me, I don't hear a word they're saying, only the echoes of my mind. Now there's a little rundown here, so where we come off of dropping off here, back to the D, down to D major 7, down to D6. Now what I interpreted here is they hold the D6 and he alternates to the A, and there's a hammer on here, a little bit of bluesy note. It could be an overdub, I don't know. I've tried to work it out. It is quite tricky. I did work the notes out, but I couldn't quite finger pick it. So I did this version, which is down to D6, picking the A, the D, sorry. Then alternate, hold a D6 and pick the A. Or if you want to, what I've done, I've just walked it in like this. Okay, it's almost like a bridge piece. It goes into either the chorus or another verse. So you can do it what you want going on there. You can even you could hold the D if you want. Doesn't sound as good as the original. Okay, so it's that going on there, and then it sounds like there's like a hammer-on or another guitar doing a little rundown, like a little bluesy piece. So maybe you can work it out. Love to know. But my piece is pretty much pretty good as well. It follows the same chords at least. Pick styles are a bit tricky. Okay, so there we go. We've got a bridge which comes in between the verse and the chorus. So let's just go through and see how that fits in. Yeah, okay. Before the next verse, in between verses then, we've got this. This is ending the first verse. D6s. People stop and staring. I can see their can't see their faces. Only shadows of their eyes. I'm just repeating what I've already told you. Now that little rundown on 6 leads into the chorus. Okay, so I'm doing it there, in between the verse and the chorus also. It's like a little link phrase. Okay, so now we drop into the chorus. So far, just to recap, we've done a verse, we've done a bridge piece, and now we're going to the chorus. Okay, so the chorus, I revert to the strumming. The picking, you could do the same, but it's just too fast to, and it sounds a bit better. If you're doing this a live version on your own, which I will be doing, I want to pick it up in the chorus, and it takes the stress off of playing it, to be honest. It's a bit easier to strum along and sing that chorus, and gives it a lift if you're doing it live on your own. So the chords are quite basic on this. It's I'll just run through it. I'm going where the sun keeps shining through the pouring rain. Going where the weather suits my clothes. Banking off of the northeast wind, sailing on the summer breeze. Skipping over the ocean like the stone. Doesn't do that. Doesn't drop to D7 there. Sorry. So coming off of the end there, skipping over the ocean like this, like a stone. Does that little bridge piece. Hold the D6. So it does it there as well. Okay, so the chorus then, it's an E minor. I'll show you the strum pattern in a minute, which I've employed there, which doesn't exist on the song, but it kind of fits if you're playing along. And I'll reference the Fred Neil strum pattern that you can use. So it's an E minor. So I'm doing this. So you can do the other pattern, but I'll come back. Sorry, I'll come to that in a minute. I'll just show you the chords that I'm using there. E minor, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, 3, 4. To D, I'm using that bar D because I'm going to drop into a D major 7 here. D, 2, 3, 4, 2. I think the count there is different. Hold on. I'm going when the sun keeps shining through the pouring rain. We've got 2 bars of 4. You're ending on the D7. I'm throwing in the major. You could hold the D. You could hold the D and just drop to a D7. I don't think it really matters on this bit. It's a drop down. I did actually hold the D and then just drop to the D7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it goes around the loop. As I said, you can put in that D6, or you can alternate between. So that's the chorus, and coming out of the chorus we'll drop in to that bridge piece, which is where he goes into the wah wah wah, which is the break really. Essentially, after the first chorus, he starts going. This is Nilsson. Wah 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 wah. In the Fred Neil version, he does a similar thing, but it's more just bluesy. It's kind of, you know, tripping along nicely. Harry Nilsson, you know, demonstrates his voice a bit better there. You know, or should I say, he demonstrates his voice in the song, you know, kind of a sing-along bit. So that wah bit, let's call it the wah, the bridge or the break, starts with the D to a D major 7 to a D6, on the D6. Then it goes into the verse chords, which we've done the verse chords already. So you repeat the verse chords all the way through, and you come out of that one verse set of chords, and you go into that bridge piece again. D to a D major 7 to a D6, and then you drop into a chorus. So it'll be something like this. That's the phrasing of your strumming. It'll be D. Yeah? And then you drop into the chorus. So it's quite quick, the little bridge phrase. I'm going, and you're off again into the chorus. Okay, so then it follows the chorus through again. Coming out of the chorus, we drop into that bridge phrase once more. And then we go back into the first verse. Everybody's talking about... Let's go, sorry. Everybody's talking about me. I can't hear a word they're saying. So he repeats this all the way through. Then coming out, I'm following my pattern, by the way, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Then we go back into the chorus, but he changes the words. So coming out, one more, the bridge phrase again. Oh, I want you to leave my love behind. Now I'm going running down to the D7 and back into the chorus. And he does this, he keeps repeating it. So does Fred Neil, funny enough. It's the same on the Fred Neil song. He just doesn't sing that lovely wailing bit that Nilsson does at the end. Try to hit those notes. I think he struggled with that as well. Listen to the mix, he's layered up his vocals a bit. And that's the bit that goes, oh. So that's at the end, and it just fades out with the chorus chords, which is E minor, A, D, followed by that bridge section. Now the Fred Neil version, now hopefully that's okay for the Nilsson version. I've kind of addressed that. You've got the finger picking, can do it all the way through if you want, quite hard. Singing and picking is very hard, especially that song. It's not generally hard, but that is. Okay, so you could strum the whole thing all the way through like Fred Neil, in which case I'm not going to take the capo off now, but take the capo off and you can play along with the Fred Neil version. His phrasing is a lot more relaxed. He has this that type of phrasing. Oh, when it's down, down, up. Fred Neil version. Okay, so do exactly the same chord structure, more or less. There is one variation which I'll show you in a minute, which I believe is correct. Exactly the same, but you do a down, down, up pattern for Fred Neil. Down, down. So. And to be honest, play along with it and you'll see it's not even that distinctive. It, you can just do one strum and play along with it. There is a blues guitar doubling up for the most part of that song. Okay, so that's the Fred Neil version. Now, in the Fred Neil version, there is one variation, I believe, to be, and that is when it drops to this bit where he's. I'll just show you. So remember, I'm in the wrong position. Fred Neil doesn't have a capo, but I'm going to leave it here, because otherwise it'll play havoc with your ears if I take it off. So we got this. Here's the Fred Neil version then, with it on a capo too. Dropping down to the D7, D6. Now I think he just goes to the A and plays a D7. I've been playing along with it and I don't think he hits the E minor. It doesn't really make a lot of difference to the song, to be honest. So we have this. Okay, so that's the variation, I believe. The bass is playing A, E. So he's going from the picking the. Sorry. The alternating bass line goes from A to E on that particular version. And you check it out, you'll see what I mean. So that is the Fred Neil version, slightly different. If you're singing it, leave it on the A if you want. So you would have everybody's talking to me, drop down, and when you get to the I don't hear a word they're saying, only the echoes. I'm doing a little 7 there. There's definitely a variation on the chord. I think it's a 7. He's turning it from a D to a 7. Oh my, my. Of course he sings a lot lower. Okay, so that'd be the Fred Neil version. And much more relaxed, down, down, up. Hold the A if you want, just completely on that bridge. The chorus is the same. And the structure, the rest of the structure is the same. So check them both out. Hopefully that's helped you. I think I've covered all the bases. On that, I've talked about the pattern, but I kind of did it as I went along. Yep, I think that's fine. I think I'm going to leave it there. It's about as far as I can go. Okay, thank you very much. Take care. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that's been of some use to you. As I didn't say, I keep saying that, it's very common. Hope that's been of some use to you. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe. If you've got any requests, send them across. I do teach a lot of students in and around the Bournemouth area, which is in England. But of course they talk to me directly about it. This is actually a request from one of my students who wanted to learn this song, which kind of sent me on the trail of Harry Nilsson and Fred Neil. So, you know, it's all fantastic stuff to kind of pass over to you. It's been of some use to you. Okay, I'm off now. I'm off to Greenwich Village to watch another folk star emerging. Whatever you do, have a fantastic adventure and take care.